and then as far as like where you're buying things, yeah, so listen, I was everywhere. So I, of course, was in thrift stores because a lot of my items that I have are upcycled.
Okay.
Some people had given me some antique pieces and I had those redone. So like I have this armoire, that was an antique piece, and the person who made my cabinets, I just had him put shelves in there. So now it looks like a piece of furniture, but it's really my pantry. Yeah, and I live in a small home, so I have to create storage wherever I can. I went to a thrift store and I bought a headboard, footboard, dresser, and mirror for like, I don't know, something ungodly cheap, like $100 or less or something like that. But I had this headboard and footboard, so, and of course I'm renovating and I'm trying to, you know, figure out storage. And I went on Pinterest, I believe it was, and I was like, okay, what can I do with this old headboard and footboard? And the footboard like curved, and with that, I made a bench. And that bench is at my front door.
I didn't know that.
Yes, yeah, so that bench is at my front door now. And it's storage in there, but it's also, and I'll give you pictures, but it's also a bench. And it's so cute. And when you walk in, the bench is there, and, you know, like your mail, you know, I put my mail there, you know, things like that. So yeah, so, and then some of my kitchen, I use porcelain. Is it porcelain? Oh my God. I'll get it for you, the name of what I use, because it's not coming to me now. Countertop, but on the island part that I renovated, I had this old antique armoire, and I had the same guy who moved that wall for me in the kitchen. I had him take that armoire and recess it in the wall for my my linen closet. So the doors and the sides and everything are that armoire. So he cut off the back. And I was like, what am I gonna do with this? And I have a neighbor who's a plumber who did plumbing work for me when I renovated the bathroom. He was like, you can't throw that away, you have to do something with it. And I think he was the one that said, why don't you use it as your countertop? Because on that island I had planned to do butcher block. And then I was like, why don't I? And I did. And the back of that armoire now is my countertop, and I did it myself. I sanded and put the stuff on there and sanded again. I think I must have gone through like 12 rounds. Again, YouTube University taught me how to do all of that. So please don't skip on YouTube University and do the things that you can do yourself. So yeah.
So don't get stuck at Home Depot.
No.
To buy material.
Yeah. Think about upcycling. Go to the thrift stores. See what you can do. Someone had given me a dresser and a mirror long before I even owned a home. Well, instead of buying a vanity, because remember everything was Build-A-Grade. And instead of buying a vanity, when I pulled that out, I put that dresser in and just bought a sink. And I, bought a piece of glass, so, to protect it or whatever on the top. But that is now my bathroom vanity and countertop. And then the mirror is mounted on the wall. So I did that. I went to thrift store and I bought these 2 pocket doors that were glass pocket doors. Well, they're now my shower screen in that same master bathroom. So, and I paid $25 for each of those doors. So I have a $50 shower screen, and those glass pieces for showers, so expensive, and probably even more so now. But I did that and had, someone do all that stuff for me. So I learned a lot through that process. And don't get me wrong, this is another thing I want to say, that it can be frustrating. Especially if you did it the way I did it. Like, I can only do this much. We need drywall. Well, I can buy this much drywall and I'll have this waiting when I'm ready to actually do this. So my house was a mess. Like, really, it was a mess. Thank God I lived alone. So, whatever. But it was a mess. I, of course, couldn't invite anybody over during that time. I broke my toe during that time. I like walking barefoot and I had all this stuff and hit my toe. Listen, it was a mess. But anyway, I remember crying to Brother Thomas. I remember crying to him, and he was like, listen, I get you. He was like, right now in my house, I just have a trail that I have, you know, paved out to the front door. So, and then I just had to know that this was part of the process, the part of the process that I had decided to take, doing this bit by bit, because I did not want to get a loan and all that kind of thing. So,
and it looks pretty all the time.
right, yes. So I worked and did things. I worked and did things. That's how I did mine, because I didn't want a loan. Because you look at these people and they're like, oh, I'm doing this and that. Yeah, loan. Not all the time. I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes loan. So don't get caught up on looking at other people and what other people are doing. Your process could be different, and at the end, it's just as sweet. Yeah, you didn't get it done in 6 months because you're doing it little bit by little bit, but now I love my home.
And that's all that matters.
Exactly, it's gorgeous. It was a process. But yeah, I mean, I also ran into some bad contractors, so I went through, you know, all of that kind of stuff too. Yeah, so, and I paid for some things that were horrible because I was trying to spare people's feelings when I should have been like, no. So, and then I would have to have it redone and, you know, that kind of thing. So, but I did find some pretty reasonable contractors as well. And one was so reasonable at the end of the project. When he saw how beautiful it was, he got mad at me. I was like, sir, I paid you what you asked for. What is the problem? Because my vision was that good. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, so yeah, so those are the tips that I have. I know I just said a lot though.
Yeah, but I'm getting the takeaway is, you know, don't put so much pressure on yourself.
Absolutely.
Definitely get estimates.
Yes.
Budget.
Yes.
And pace yourself.
And pace yourself.
That's kind of what I'm getting from it.
Yes.
Did I leave anything out?
No, I think that's it. And just do research, like look around. Don't get stuck into, I have to buy this from this place. I think it's different now, you know, especially with Instagram and all that. People have, you know, everybody's done it a lot of different ways in YouTube, and you can kind of glean from those people to see, oh, okay, well, this worked for them, so let me try that. I feel like when I did it, I wasn't really into social media like that, so I was trying to figure it out. But yeah, so I just kind of looked around and found different places. So don't get stuck, you know, oh, it's this, you know what I mean? This place, rather. Stick with your vision, but it doesn't have to come from that place. So yeah, like Home Depot, like you said, don't get stuck at Home Depot. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Demetri, for sharing all of your tips and your knowledge. So just remember, pace yourself, and the journey, it is a process.
Yes.
Remodeling is a process.
Yes.
So thank you again for joining us on Naughty House Tips. And until next time, bye.